How Michael DeSanta spends his millions. Hello, welcome back to the Finance Boy. Michael DeSanta, one of three main playable characters in the greatest selling video game of all time, Grand Theft Auto V, is a rich dad who lives in the hills of Los Santos, which is the fictional version of Los Angeles, California in the Grand Theft Auto universe. A life full of crime and criminal activity made Michael DeSanta a fortune. He faked his own death after a robbery gone bad to move to Los Santos to retire from crime and create a better life for him and his family. He is by far the richest character in Grand Theft Auto V. But what exactly did he spend his millions on? If you didn't keep track of Michael's expenses during the game, don't forget to stay until the very end of the video to see the most luxurious purchase that Michael DeSanta made in Grand Theft Auto V. House. The main house Michael's family moved into after changing their identities. Michael DeSanto's luxurious mansion in the Los Santos Hills has an estimated value of $18,124,379. However, if you add the value of his pool, which is a $20,000 estimation, and his tennis court, which has a $30,000 value, Michael DeSanto's house is now estimated to have a value of $18,174,379. Rockstar Games set a world record for the best-selling retail product of all time in 2013 when GTA V made $1 billion in just 4 days after its official release date. Meaning with the money Rockstar made, they could buy Michael's house 52 times and still have around $34 million left over.
Somebody say yoga?
Heist.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment. Please don't make me ruin all the great work your plastic surgeons have been doing. On the floor now.
The best activity in both single player and online are heists. When Michael gets back into the crime game with both Trevor and Franklin, Michael went back to his old ways by reconnecting with his buddy Lester for more criminal jobs heists. In total, there are 5 heists in the main story, which are the Jewel Store Job, the Merryweather Heist, the Palito Score, the Bureau Raid, and the Big Score. The amount of money Michael and the rest of the crew, Franklin and Trevor, makes depends solely on the gamer behind the controller's decisions. When planning these single-player heists, you as Michael decide who to hire on the job, how much to spend on each driver, gunman, and hacker, as well as what approach to take during each heist, the smart approach or the riskier approach. And some crew members even get a small percentage of the heist cut. During each heist with the best team and options will result in bigger payouts for Michael, and hiring the worst crew members will result in less payouts after each heist earned. However, planning the heist, hiring the right crew members, and getting the proper equipment, such as weapons, getaway car, sometimes helicopters, and each member getting their cut, planning for the heist definitely requires quite an upfront investment. Stocks. Michael can purchase stocks while on the internet, either on a laptop or with his smartphone. The LCN stock market, which stands for Liberty City National Exchange, is the fictional version of the real-life New York Stock Exchange. It is, believe it or not, one of 2 stock exchanges in the game. This one has available stocks from companies such as Burger Shot, Bank of Liberty, Equala, and even Up and Atom. The other stock markets in Grand Theft Auto V is the BASQ stock market. They have stocks such as Ammunition, where players go to spend money on weapons and ammunition, or Los Santos Customs, where players go to get customizations on their cars. Just like real life, the goal of buying stocks in the game is to buy them when they are low and then sell them high. If you invest wisely in the single player, Michael can end up making quite the payday for himself. In the game, Lester offers Franklin missions for him that require assassinating certain targets that have major roles in certain companies on the LCN. Their deaths will tremendously affect the value of each of their stocks. Lester tells Franklin that certain companies' each death would potentially affect each company, meaning the gamer has an advantage of knowing which stock to invest in either before or after killing their target. The stocks usually drop to less than half of the original profit before normally but slowly returning back to normal. These missions where this occurs are the Hotel Assassination, which is the Beta Pharmaceutical stock, the Redwood Cigarette Assassination, which is the Debonair Cigarette stock, the Vice Assassination, which is the Fruit stock, the Bus Assassination, the Construction Assassination, which is the Gold Coast stock, buying each of the stocks after the assassination as Michael. Once Franklin completes each mission and each stock goes down, will result in even more income for Mr. DeSanta. Properties. By the end of the game, and with over $100 million in the bank per character, it is hard not to at least spend a little bit. That even includes properties. Some properties require only certain characters to buy them. As Michael, you can purchase Hookies, Cinema Doppler, 10 Cent Theater, Tivoli Cinema, Car Scrapyard, Tequila Lala, Pictures, The Hen House, Sonar Collections Dock, Los Santos Golf Club, Vespucci Helipad, and Los Santos International Hangar. They are useful for additional income and collecting necessaries for a better rate. All the properties have a hefty upfront cost. However, just like many real estate investments, over time these properties will become ridiculously profitable. If you purchase all 12 available properties as Michael will end up spending a total of $215,828,450. Michael will end up making an additional $832,220 a week, meaning it would take Michael around 260 weeks or 5 years to break even, then just make the $832,220 weekly payments profitable for the rest of his life. Not a bad investment strategy for Mr. DeSanto. Weapons. As a surprise to no one, the more weapons you have equipped, the better you will be in a gunfight throughout the Grand Theft Auto games. With average assault rifles costing a little more than $1,000, with the exception of the Combat MG, which costs roughly $3,000, many weapons in the game you will be unlocking for free throughout story progression. But if you wanted weapons that were a little more deadly, the gamer would have to use Michael DeSanto's out-of-pocket cash to buy stuff like the RPG, grenades, or even sticky bombs. The least expensive weapon purchased in the game is tear gas, coming in at $135, and the most expensive weapon at your local Los Santos gun store is the minigun, which comes in around $13,500. How much Michael spends on weapons and ammunition is fully dependent on the player behind the controller. But if you wanted to purchase every available weapon in the game for Michael would spend $55,746 on all the available weapons for sale, not including ammunition. You would have to buy afterwards. $56,000 is an annual salary for a lot of people. For someone like Michael, that's not that much of a massive dent in his bank account. Cars. A purchase that is fully dependent on the player. When playing as Michael, you can buy a garage that will fit a certain number of cars, meaning for Michael's car of choice, the gamer must choose wisely as each garage only has a limited number of spaces for the quantity of cars. A luxurious car in Grand Theft Auto 5 could range from $200,000 to $2 million. Since Michael has expensive taste in general, it's a safe assumption Michael, the character, would have at least $3 to $4 million Lamborghinis. Family.
To pick up a little something for the woman in my life. Well, one of them.
Sir, I'm sure we can help you. Tell me about her. What's her taste?
Cheap, thank God. This ain't my wife we're talking about.
Since Michael is the man in the house with the money, it's safe to assume he covers the majority of the family's expenses. His family consists of his wife Amanda and his two teenagers Tracy and Jimmy. It is said at some point in the game Michael's paid for a variety of Amanda's activities, including tennis and yoga, which he claimed the tennis lessons cost him $150 an hour. All the constant video games that his son Jimmy plays, and all the other typical family expenses, including all the typical costs of raising two teenagers and their expensive taste. Safe to say the financial number of his two kids are in the thousands.
Somebody say yoga?
Therapy. As seen in Michael's standalone trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2013, Michael spent quite a bit of time in his therapist, Isaiah Friedlander's office, Michael's expensive therapist, hoping to becoming a happier person from feeling as if he hasn't accomplished anything meaningful with his life and anger from his family issues. Although the standard therapy session lasts around 60 minutes, Michael's in the game seems to only last 5 to 7 minutes, and while the average rate for a 60-minute therapy session without insurance is $60 to $120 an hour, the national average with the maximum cost being around $250. Yet Michael pays DeFreelands $500 per session. There are 7 therapy sessions you can do in the game, meaning a little over $3,500 for only 7 therapy sessions. They say money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy you a pretty good therapist. Michael went to multiple therapy sessions throughout the main story, including session where he took both his wife Amanda and his 2 teenagers for a family session. Michael kept seeing Dr. Freelander until he told Michael that he was offered his very own TV show, very Dr. Phil-like. Freelander also told Michael that he'll be using his case on the new show. Michael gets frustrated by his news, leading Michael to chase Isaiah down. After you catch him, the gamer gets to decide if Michael kills him or lets him go. If you kill him, you will receive around $2,000 in cash, and an internet article confirming his death will release online stating Freelander already published many details of Michael's case in his upcoming book that was already about to be published. If you choose to let him live, Freelander will send an email to Michael apologizing for what he did, asking for his forgiveness.
I'm getting too old for this nonsense.
Thanks for watching. Which fictional character would you like to see on the next How They Spent Their Millions video? Is there anything we missed? Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, annihilate the like button, and hit the notification bell so you are always notified and the first to watch when future videos such as this one are uploaded. See you next time.